Hello, the internet. It is Tuesday, the 13th of July, 2021, and welcome back to the channel. And welcome back to the 13th day of July, and consequently the 13th day of Julive. Now, what is Julive? This is where I go live every day right here on the tubes of you on the YouTube channel. Gives a minute, even though I do live streams daily on DLive as well. For this month, for some reason, you're copping live streams on YouTube daily as well. Most of the content here will be viewer requests, such as the episode today. We're talking about police in New South Wales, Australia, my home state, potentially abusing their powers. This would be something that I guess we have to preface, because we know. Hello, chat. I'll address the chat in a second, but just putting this out there. I feel like this content may be flagged from the tubes of you. I have already received a strike on my channel. It was a warning strike. 3 strikes and you're out, but I got 0.015 of a strike, a warning strike. Not my first strike, a warning of a strike, because I mentioned a statistic which is factually correct, yet seems like YouTube don't really give two shits about the facts. So that's a separate incident, but what I'm saying is this stream today could also be maybe somehow turned around and used against me to issue me a strike. I hope not, because I'm about to show you some content that I haven't looked at yet myself, but it is from a dubious channel, I guess, Rebel News Australia. They have put up a warning here. Says YouTube requires that we indicate that some opinions in this video contradict the consensus medical opinion about COVID-19. So I want to also issue my own warning to you yahoos. This live stream that I'm about to do may contain some opinions that possibly contradict the consensus medical opinion regarding COVID-19. That's just the warning put out there, just in case somehow this gets used against me. I don't think it will, but I mean, fair play. The content we're going to be looking at is on YouTube, so there's that, right? I mean, I got dinged for stating a medical fact from a press conference from our health minister, which I found on YouTube. So you get dinged for stating the fact that someone else stated. The medical officer, the health minister for this country, made a statement, made a fact, and I repeated it, and I got dinged. And I got the fact from YouTube, so you can work that out how you will. Let me just say hello to the chat. I began with hello the internet, and then Tim Arskog, hello Benon. Robert Muller, g'day Benon, how are you? I'm good, thanks. Well, I'm well too, Rob. Good to see you. Political foolishness, hello. Never join a union, you are immune from strikes. TE Crystal the Cutie Doggy 73 with a new handle, TLE Crystal Gaming. Hello. Well, that's Timsky. I'll give you a little cheerses. Robert Muller, I'll give you a little cheerses. Political foolishness, I'll give you a little cheerses. And Crystal TE, the cutie doggy 73, a little cheerses. That's who we're dealing with in the chat today. It's just you and me here. You know, I like this. It's kind of cozy. It's a little tight, little cozy community. Not like my D-Live streams where we got yahoos coming in all over the place. I changed my name as always. TE. I mean, that's a terrible handle. I'm just saying, that's terrible. In parentheses, TE, Crystal the Cutie Doggy 73. I mean, if it means something to you, then continue with it. It is a difficult one to say. I'm just going to call you TLE Gaming, because that's how I know you. One other thing I was going to say. Oh, yes. If you have a suggestion for what you want to speak about on these streams, let's not forget that a live stream is all about the interaction with the chat. Speaking of which, Rodrigo Bertatoli. Hello. How you doing, man? Good to see you, buddy. I'm drinking too, Gibbs. Vodka and orange juice, political foolishness. Vodka and orange juice. Not a favorite of mine, but okay. Actually, on a summer's day, vodka, orange juice, and some ice. Yeah, okay, I can see that. And you have summer in the Northern Hemisphere. We have winter. I did just get back from a surf. I didn't fix my hair. I just got back from a surf. Yeah, it's good up there. Had a good surf today. I'll put out a video, of course, about that, but it was fun. Good fun surf. Surf with another crew. Yeah, Cameron, if you're watching, hello. Yeah, so if you have a suggestion of what you want to discuss on these Julive streams, my Discord is always open, right? Go to my Discord, the Gives a Minute Discord, put your suggestion in there. I'm happy to take requests. I'm happy to take... You know what, yesterday, I came out here yesterday a little earlier than usual, and I just said, hey, I got nothing on my mind, but what do you guys want to talk about? And that was about 40 minutes after England lost to Italy in the Euro Cup. And so we had a great conversation about football, and we went in looking deeper at the Qatar World Cup in 2022 and all the controversies surrounding it. And that, like, literally, when I sat down to begin that stream, I had nothing planned. I just wanted to have a chat. On DLive, when we stream live, we just come out and have a chisel chat. We talk about stuff. And why can't we do that on YouTube? Well, I kind of know why we can't, because they'll ding me, but that was fun yesterday. And I hope I don't get dinged for some video that contradicts the consensus political opinion. I don't know. It's a sketchy one. It's a sketchy platform, YouTube. But here we are every day for July as part of Julive. This is my third year in a row I've been doing Julive. I'm up in Canada. There you go, political foolishness. It's warm for you. What part of Canada are you in, man? Timsky, ghosts and poltergeist will be a good subject, provided I log in early enough to catch the start instead of the ending. Well, that's the other thing. These Julive streams, there is no timing on this. I'll just start whenever I damn well please. The reason behind that is because I'm sort of alternating it between surfing and whatever the swell's doing. So if the swell's good like it was today, this stream's going to be late. If the swell's crap and it's onshore wind, I'll do an early stream. That's the deal. So I'm not coming out every time of the day, every day at the same time. I'm trying to do it a little bit sort of all over the place, just to also potentially attract a new audience or a different audience on YouTube's. But what I will do, Tim, I know you don't like Discord, so I'm going to grab a screenshot of your comment. There you go. Ghosts and poltergeist. I took a screenshot of that. We'll take a look at that. But let's move in. So this is the, well, this is the warning, but the video I want to show you is actually this, because this is in a series. These are two different videos that I want to show you. This is the first one. You're Eastern Canada near the St. Lawrence River. Oh, okay. Not too very familiar with the east side of Canada, but good to see you. Good to have you. Good to know you. So this video here from Rebel News, this is how police are abusing the system to force compliance within New South Wales being the state that I live in Australia. So, you know, it has to be noted that this is on YouTube, right? This is on YouTube. So are we allowed to critique this? Are we allowed to transformatively comment on this video? I think we are. I could be wrong. Either way, this was a request. Charlotte Rose, this is for you. Let's take a little look-ski.
You either come with us quietly, or we're going to drag you out of here. And I've never been in trouble with the police. So I was not getting dragged out of my own cafe in front of a lot of people. I walked out peacefully. I tried to calm everyone else that was around there. At that stage, I thought I was still going to wait just for questioning. But once down at the station, I was arrested and charged.
Sad to see that New South Wales has quickly become the new Victoria with its overreaching restrictions and CCP-style enforcement. So
the obvious, I guess the obvious thing to say here is this is obviously related to the lockdowns, COVID lockdowns. David, how you going, Gibbs? G'day, David. How you doing, man? It's good to see you. It's good to have you. It's good to know you. This is obviously tied into the restrictions within New South Wales, which are pretty heavy right now, pretty heavy restrictions.
The Rebel News Fight the Fines initiative in Australia, which has been supporting Aussies across the country for the past 18 months, will now be diverting some of our efforts on helping those going through hell across the border. If you've been caught up in the outrageous situation unfolding in New South Wales, please submit your story now at fightthefines.com.au. We'll do our best to help.
Rebel News is Canadian, but he has a great guy, RV Down Under. Oh, okay, so this is a worldwide conglomerate. Robert Muller, all police have a point, and this is coming from me being related to a police officer. Okay, Rob, good to know. Good to know. I mean, we don't know the situation here, so we got to learn about, before we can comment, we got to learn what it is.
Help you. And this is only possible with the generosity of you watching this right now, our amazing viewers. So I'm going to ask again. If you're willing and you're able, please donate what you can to fightthefines.com.au so we can continue to take as many cases as possible, just like this egregious attack on a small family business you're about to see.
David, do you think that Melbourne's people left their hotspot and bring the virus to New South Wales, Gibbs? That wasn't what happened, I don't think. I thought this came from South Australia. I didn't think it came from Melbourne or from Victoria. I could be wrong. Either way, we're definitely in the midst of the heaviest lockdown. Dude, I saw a tweet. This is strange. I saw a tweet that someone said, I can't recall who it was. Someone likened this virus, this strain, the Delta strain, someone likened it to a serial killer. Yeah, I remember seeing that, and it might have even been through this Yahoo, through Avi, right? I remember seeing a tweet where they said this is like a serial killer, and yeah, it was. I remember, because his response was it was from this gentleman Avi, and his response was one death. Oh, crikey, here we go. This is what got me dinged. All right, so someone made a crazy statement, and he refuted it. I'm not going to refute it again because that's what got me dinged. So there you go. We can't even talk about it. Here we go.
Watch until the end, share it far and wide, and support if you can.
It comes from overseas, I think you'll find.
The owner of a Shell Harbour cafe also reported to police after workers refused to wear masks at the Village Fix. Anthony Real calls himself a freedom keeper.
By the way, Shell Harbour is literally a stone's throw from here. You'd have to have a good throw, but you could. Actually, it's further than a stone's throw, but it's just up the road. Tim, Benon, we all know New South Wales started the COVID spread in Australia with the mishandling of the infected cruise ship passengers. This is true. This is very true. Way back in 2019, for shizzle, for sure, for shower. Yeah, I agree. I know, and yeah.
Telling his customers on Instagram, no mask, we won't ask.
Oh, such a naughty small family business. How dare they stand for freedom? Don't they know that it's some sort of dirty word in 2021? But really, what was their capital crime? The owner made it clear that they won't act unlawfully by making the public or their staff prove they're exempt from wearing masks. The fake media outrage led to a major police escalation against the Village Fix Cafe's owners in Shell Harbour, New South Wales.
2 police officers entered whilst we were still trading. I had 2 other staff members with me and asked me why I wasn't wearing a mask. And I simply just told them that I have an exemption for it. That wasn't good enough for them. They kept harassing me, asking me why I did.
Now, if you have a legally acceptable exemption, that's where this story should end, right? Surely. If you don't have a legally creditable exemption from wearing a mask, then at that point, you are breaking the law. Whether you agree with the law or not is irrelevant. If you break the law will come in the form of the police, and they have the power, which we vested in them, to arrest you. This is the fact. I'm just wondering if this is going to escalate into a ridiculous story about nothing, simply because he doesn't believe masks are effective. That's irrelevant. If you think a mask doesn't do anything, then that's fine. You can think that, but you still got to wear one by law. If you don't agree with the law, you got to move somewhere where there are no laws. If you want to live and you want to run a business in Australia, you got to abide by the Australian laws. And one of them right now is masks are mandatory unless you have a good exemption. He better have a good exemption here. If he hasn't got a good exemption, this is a blow-up video of no significance. Timsky, just joking, but in reality, COVID definitely would have entered Australia anyway. It's just a shame that it was so badly. It was definitely badly handled with the cruise ships. No one's denying that. Political foolishness. You can see some of the insanity from the Canadian government on Rebel News. Avi has seen similar in Australia. Exactly, Rob says, if you have a medical condition, you don't have to wear a mask. So let's see. He better have a good medical reason to not wear a mask. That's the crux of the hinge that this video relies on, surely.
Didn't have it, what was my reason behind it, and what I was under the understanding was that's my personal information that I have with a general practitioner or someone that I entrust with.
Was a absolute clear resistance of the cafe owner and those people at front of house to actually wear a mask.
Then they tried to blame me for encouraging staff to...
So hold on. So he's not wearing a mask, but there are others not wearing masks. He says he has a valid reason not to, and it's a personal reason between him and his GP, his doctor. I'm not buying this at this point. Why is this woman out the front not wearing a mask as well? This woman in the yellow shirt, she's not wearing a mask. What's going on with that? Political foolishness. I wear a mask in Canada just to avoid the hassles. Doesn't mean I agree with science. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to get arrested, I mean, got my mask right here. I'm donning the mask whenever I go out, right? I'm not going to fight the law for some stupid... I mean, this gentleman put up messages on his Instagram saying, no mask, we won't ask. I mean, he's treading very, very gingerly against the law. He may have a valid reason. We still didn't really get that reason, though.
Have it, what was my reason? That wasn't good enough for them. They kept...
Hang on.
Two other staff members with me and asked me why I wasn't wearing a mask. And I simply just told them that I have an exemption for it. That wasn't good enough for them. They kept...
Well, at that point, if you have an exemption, prove it. I'm sure that's how the conversation went. Sorry, I don't wear a mask. I've got an exemption. Prove it. That could have ended this whole saga right here. Can disability people go and see a GP and ask a doctor for a letter for not wearing a mask? I guess so. I don't know. I'm not a disabled person, but I guess so. Whether people choose to wear a mask or not, they should be made aware of how easy it is to wear a mask. It isn't very tricky to wear a mask. Masks are a trivial inconvenience, but forcing medication is another matter. Well, we're definitely not talking about that political foolishness. How easy it is to be a carrier and thus pass it on to others, okay? But masks are mandatory in parts of Queensland until this Friday. Well, they're mandatory in all of Sydney right now.
Harassing me, asked me why I didn't have it, what was my reason behind it, and what I was under the understanding was that's my personal information that I have with a general practitioner or someone that I entrust with.
Was a absolute clear resistance of the cafe owner and those people at front of house to actually wear a mask.
Then they tried to blame me for encouraging staff to not wear a mask as well.
Well, you kind of did by putting that Instagram post up. No mask, we won't ask. You did.
Which is what they've charged me for.
Now look, she's all teary-eyed and getting all emotional. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to do all this crap?
And it's not true. They've crucified us through the media and made us look like the worst people ever.
Did you not put up an Instagram post saying no mask, we won't ask? On your cafe Instagram. Hey, Charlotte's here, only listening but working. Yeah, cool, Charlotte. Thanks for the tips for these videos. This is good. I hope this doesn't get me totally dinged off YouTube though. It's not worth fighting it to fight the masks. I know it's not, is it?
It was about making an example out of us. We had all the paperwork. We had everything that they could have wanted, but they made out that we didn't, and they just made out that we were breaking the law, basically. Okay,
well, that's a fair point. If you had all the paperwork and you could prove that you do not need to wear a mask, that should be where this ends, surely. Surely that's where that ends.
Basically, which we did not break the law. They were breaking the law.
Her and Anthony both had exemptions from their doctors, so they don't have to wear masks, but New South Wales Police not only refused to accept their exemptions.
Can we not see those exemptions? Here's the arrest chart. can we not see the exemptions? Why would you not put them on screen? If you have the exemption, show the exemption. Offence, not wear fitted face covering in retail business premise, Public Health Act 2010. Section 10, not ensure hospitality workers wear fitted face coverings. So, okay. There you go.
They also charged Natalie for forcing her staff not to mask up as well. By the way, it's clear from the shot footage that the owners have no issues with their staff wearing masks because, as you can see, some of the staff were wearing them at the time.
Tim, very large number of people still don't know that COVID may not kill you, but it can leave you with long-term disabling health problems, and young children become mentally handicapped.
So their big bad crime is really just making it public that they stand for freedom. The penalty for that crime, you ask? Well, Natalie and Anthony were both fined $1,000 each, and they were both criminally charged for not wearing the face mask. And on top of that, Natalie was slapped with that additional charge I just mentioned.
They'll fight that surely. If you have the exemption, are we missing a point here? Is the exemption valid or is the exemption not valid?
About her staff not wearing masks. But here's the real kicker. They were bailed on the condition that they don't re-offend.
If you break
There are conditions of your bail. I enter into an agreement to observe specified requirements as to my conduct while at liberty on bail. I agree to observe as a condition of my bail the following requirements. The accused, whilst upon bail, is to strictly comply with public health COVID Greater Sydney Order. The accused, whilst on bail, is not to incite or encourage others to defy public health. Okay.
break any of the
Inside,
New South Wales health regulation codes,
which we weren't in the first
which means
place.
wearing a mask inside hospitality or areas, it'll be a breach of bail and we'll be basically thrown into jail.
Till the court case.
Which is confusing to me in that I'm not wearing the face mask because I have an exemption, which is a lawful reason.
Prove it. Why have we not seen it then? You must show Avi, and then Avi must show us the exemption. I mean, I'm no genius here, but if you've got the exemption and it's lawful, show us it.
Yet my bail says otherwise.
Cameron, thank you once again for joining us. New South Wales lockdown is certainly
Now, this guy must be smart because he's standing in front of books.
thrown a number of cases your way. Tell us, Anthony and Natalie, it is a shocking attack on small business, in my opinion. Where are we?
Well, at the moment, we're in the stage where we're making some representations to the police so that we can hopefully have this matter dealt with very quickly. Because the difficult position the New South Wales Police have placed Natalie and Anthony in is that as a condition of their bail, because they were both arrested in relation to these alleged offences, a condition of their bail is that they have to comply with the public health orders as they currently exist. Now, the New South Wales Police refuse to accept that Natalie and Anthony are actually exempt, which means...
So there's the crux of it. So the police refuse to believe their reasoning. Do you think that if you owned a business and you were exempt from wearing a mask, you'd have the exemption, right? You'd be like, oh, I've got the exemption. It's right here. Just let me get the exemption. Here it is. Here it is, officer. I think you'll find everything. Charlotte, I know you're still listening. You have to get naked if you want these. That's a note from Charlotte. I'm sure if they had the exemption, they'd be waving it. You'd get it out. You'd be like, hey, cops, I'm exempt. It's right there. It's right there, cops. I'm exempt. Why did that not happen? I don't think the exemption is legal. I think they've got a dubious exemption and they're not willing to put it up on screen. They're not willing to show the cops. They're just saying, we're exempt. My GP said so. Rodrigo, this happened on a private business. If this was the case, owners have the right to kick you out if you do not follow the business rules. If you do not have the right, if you don't go out, they have the right to call the police. These are the police, though. Tim, it would make things much clearer if a medical exemption form of identity is made available by the government only through right, a medical exemption form. I've got the ME medical exemption. I got the MEF. I've got the MEF right here. Got it. We're good. Mask off.
is that they could be potentially in breach of their bail just by going to their local shop in an indoor space while not wearing a mask. The assertion that's being given by the New South Wales Police is essentially they have to wear a mask if they're leaving the house because their position is they do not have a lawful exemption under clause 17 2B of the public health order as it currently exists.
There you go. So the real story here is cafe owners think they're exempt, but they don't have an exemption. That's the real story here. It's not about cops abusing their power. It's about a cafe owner saying, I'm exempt, and the cops saying, no, you're not. That's not valid. You're getting arrested. That's the story.
And that obviously causes a great deal of difficulty to our clients, not only in going to their local shops to buy groceries for their 3 children, but also in opening their business. They haven't been able to open their business without fear of harassment from the New South Wales Police.
Well, fear.
Then wear a freaking mask. Mask up, you fool. Put a mask on. What's the big deal? This is stupid.
Of going to jail because, again, that's a condition.
Yeah, it's a catch-22, Avi, because if they leave their house to go and open their business, they go to an indoor space, which is their business to conduct business, to put food on the table for their family, to earn the bread. They run the risk of being arrested for being in breach of their bail because...
Have we not heard, is there a convenient cut in this footage where the cops have said that exemption is not legally binding, it's not valid, unless you've got another exemption that you're hiding from us, you have to put a mask on. Then they say, no, if you don't put a mask on, we're going to arrest you. We're exempt. I've just told you that exemption is not legally binding, not valid. Put a mask on or you'll be arrested. That's the whole story here. This is just a puff piece.
Because the police don't accept that they're exempt. But if they don't go, they're equally at risk because they simply can't put bread on the table. They can't take care of their family. They can't earn an income. It puts our clients, who are very ordinary, good, law-abiding people, in a position where they are scared to go to their local shops.
It's made me so sick, and I've literally vomited because I can't believe that they can do this to people.
Or you could just wear a mask. For the sake of your family and the sake of your business, you could just do this. Solution. Of course, you wouldn't be wearing Kansas at the same time. You could just do that. If you're very concerned about your business and your family, as you should be, you could just do this. Like the rest of the planet. Not very tricky, right? Not very tricky. You could just do that. That would be probably the responsible thing to do for your family and for your business. Or you could continue down this, I've got an exemption. No, you don't. You're being arrested.
Very confused in which they can arrest us with an unlawful arrest,
And then we
have to fight it in a lawful way. How is that possible?
Presumption of innocence is, in all effects at the moment, really on its final breaths.
Anyway. Tim, in my locality, it is very common to have people of certain religion claiming they're exempt from mask wearing due to lung problems. Masks are too hard to breathe through, yet many play sports. If you have the legally binding exemption, which there obviously are out there, you're fine. These guys don't have it though. That's the crux of this story. They don't have the legally binding exemption. They say they do. They didn't provide it. The cops gave them the warning. Mask on or we're going to arrest you.
At this point in time, the pressure that is being placed upon the New South Wales Police to ensure compliance is basically overwhelming at this stage.
We're not going to let you go at this alone. The community is going to get behind you here at fightthefines.com.au. We're going to crowdfund your defence.
I'll crowdfund it. I'll send you a freaking mask. I'll send you mine. I'll go without for a while. You can. We'll share this. You can both use it.
For the great lawyers you've been speaking to, is there anything you want to tell the people out there that are supporting you, that are standing behind you by donating at Fight the Fines?
The only reason why we're able to do this right now and we're staying strong as a unit is because we've got a lot of community support.
Thanks to everyone in the Fight the Fines community who are helping make it possible for you guys to literally dedicate your 24/7. I'm speaking to you at the moment.
Political foolishness. Unless you are exercising, a mask isn't a big deal. But if you have a mask on, then people go about their business. Right on. Yeah, and this wouldn't even be a thing had they have gone, oh, our exemption's not valid. Oh, okay. Our GP said it was. It's not actually. Here's the reasons, and here's the law. Okay, no worries. Well, you got a spare mask. We'll whack it on now. This would have all just been fizzled, right? Would have been a nothing story.
Daily with different cases, but it's only possible with those at home that are around Australia and around the world, in fact, that are seeing what's the injustice that's happening here, that are helping contribute to fightthefines.com.au to make it possible. So thank you, and thanks to them.
Thank you very much, Harvey, and thank you to everyone in the Fight the Fines community. For Manny and I to be able to fight these fines is obviously the greatest thing that we can possibly hope for. And without that support, we really...
Tim, my lungs may not be the best, but I can still wear a chemical industry disposable canister filter mask all day, even doing very physical work. David, so you're saying if disabilities people have to wear a mask when they have a medical condition problem, just needs an update. You're saying if disability... I don't know about medical disabilities. I'm not too sure, dude. I can't speak on that. I don't know the law about mask wearing exemptions. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with the assumption that the cops do know that law, given how in the forefront of everything this is these days, the COVID, the media's all over. I'm going to assume that those cops knew the law, and I'm going to assume that the exemption that these cafe owners provided was not lawful. I'm also going to assume that the video was cut so that we didn't hear them say, "Sorry, sir, that isn't a lawfully exempt piece of paper. That thing you've got from your GP isn't lawfully binding. Put a mask on. That's what we're here to do. Enforce the law. We're the police. Put a mask on. If you decline to put a mask on, we will arrest you." I'm sure they would. There's no guns out. There was no tackle to the ground crap. We're going to give you the option to mask up like the rest of the freaking state, or we're going to arrest you. You can choose. You basically have a choice right there. I can't believe that they're willing to risk their family and their children and their business on a flimsy piece of fabric, which we're all freaking wearing. Do you know what? So masks weren't mandatory for quite a while down here. It's only in the last, say, 2.5 to 3 weeks that they have been mandatory whenever you leave home. You can exercise without them, but whenever you go to the store or the shops, you've got to mask up. I didn't know about that, and I went to go and get some Coke for my Jack Daniels mix, and I got to the store and everybody was wearing a mask, and I straight away went, oh, okay, this is different now. And then the store, there's a woman that was guarding the door, and she's like, no mask, no entry. I was like, okay, fair enough, I didn't know. And I went home, came back, got my mask and went back. Not a big deal, right? Not a big deal at all.
Really wouldn't be able to continue doing the work that we've been doing in order to fight for justice for people like Natalie and Anthony who are being victimised once again by the arbitrary exercise of power.
What is she holding in her hand? Is she holding the security camera? She took the security camera off the wall to probably get better angles.
The process for people like you is the punishment, as in, you know, you got $1,000 fine already and you probably got a couple more coming, plus you've got the charges. You're looking at potentially tens of thousands of dollars just to prove your innocence. And that is exactly why we're stepping in as a community and we're...
If you're innocent, show us the exemption. Dude, this is like a murder mystery without the person's body ever being found, right? Show us the exemption. Look how smug they're obviously emotional and upset. Show the exemption then. We're medically exempt. Here's the proof. The worst part of wearing a mask, says Tim, is the day after breath from a heavy night on the red wine. Someone was saying to me the other day that they really enjoy wearing a mask because they wear it at work and the boss can't see when they're yawning. I thought that was pretty cool. Hey, he's like, yeah, I'm staying up heaps late at night. This guy smokes a lot of pot, and he's like, yeah, and when I'm at work, I can be yawning and the boss won't ever even know. Hey, it's rad. He says, I don't want to go back to work not wearing a mask because they'll see how bored I am.
Crowdfunding this defense so it doesn't cost you a cent to fight and hopefully win. You've got a good team. We'll keep in touch. Stay strong. Know that there are thousands out there with you. And hopefully the next conversation we have, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's in a week, whether it's in a month, whether it's in 6 months, is that we beat all of this.
100%. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Or
So this is a story people
you could just wear a mask.
need to know. Police arrested and bailed Anthony and Natalie to show the public that they can turn a mere suspicion of a summary offence, not wearing a mask, with or without an exemption, which...
A mere suspicion? Dude, they posted it on Instagram. No mask, no need to wear a mask, we won't be asking. No mask, no ask.
Usually, if you are not exempt, only carries a maximum penalty of a fine. They can turn that...
Hold on, what was that?
Not wearing a mask.
What was that?
All of this.
100%. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So this is a story people need to know. Police arrested and bailed Anthony and Natalie to show the public that they can turn a mere suspicion of a summary offence, not wearing a mask, with or without an exemption, which usually, if you are not exempt, only carries a maximum penalty of a fine. They can turn that suspicion into a jailable crime, breaching bail. All they need to do is charge you, have bail conditions placed on you, and suddenly the threat of a fine is escalated to the threat of a jail cell. That's what...
Okay, so he's making the point that because they were arrested and then put on bail, it becomes gnarly because now they actually will face jail time if they don't mask up. Kind of was not really... This wasn't brought up... What is this, a 10-minute video, and it's 9 minutes and 56 seconds in, and this is just being brought up here now in the summary at the end.
Why we need your help to ensure that we can stop the state from doing this. With your donations at fightthefines.com.au, please give what you can so we can afford whatever it costs.
I'll tell you what it'll cost. A bunch of masks, dude. Just put the mask on and be done. That's that video, but there is this other one here which is related. It's only a 2-minute video, same channel. Forget the customer because Karen is always right. I think this is related to the last story.
Censorship. Warning.
Just when I thought COVID enforcement can't get any worse, somebody sends me a private message to my inbox with a video that blows my mind away. This happened a few minutes ago at the local convenience store in Carrington, New South Wales. A man says he walked into...
Greg, but think of the children. How you doing, man? Think of the children.
The convenience store. He is exempt from wearing a mask. Watch what happened.
Okay, so this is another exemption of wearing a mask. I wonder if we do see what the exemption is here.
You just swear at me? As a customer, I'm a customer to your shop. What's your shop name?
I'm asking you to leave my...
Did you swear at me?
I did swear at you.
Why?
I want you to leave my...
Why are you swearing at me?
Because you are not wearing a mask.
I'm exempt. I've got a doctor's certificate right now.
Well, show me.
I don't need to show you.
That's what this boils down to, hey. I don't need to show you. I've got a certificate. I don't need to show you. Maybe the law needs to be clearer about that. You do need to show us, maybe.
Well, if you're in my shop, you need to show
No, what? It's the law. Do you know the law? Have you done your research?
Oh, fuck off.
Actually, do you know what? At that particular point, the store owner, as I think Political Foolishness said earlier, as the store owner can say, I don't want to serve you. I do not want to serve you. Leave my store. And they're in the right. This has happened to me in the past at a bottle shop, which was very, very, or a liquor store. Very, very strange situation. I don't need to go into it. No, I wasn't drunk. No, we weren't drunk. I'll tell the story super quick because it's pretty funny. I'll tell this story very, very quick. So me and my cousin on the way to his house on a Friday afternoon, going to get a couple of long necks, couple of big bottles of beer to go and have a jam. And we go through his bottle shop. For those playing in local vicinity of the Shire, Boyles in Southo. We go through the bottle shop, grab some long necks, put them on the thing. The sales guy, the old dude, the old codger who ran it, is like, got any ID? And I had driver's license. My cousin had a proof of age card. So we got him out, showed him. He looked at us and he went, nah. I was like, what? It's like, nah. And me and my cousin were looking at each other like, what do you mean? And he's like, I'm not serving you. Why not? What? We got the beers, we got the ID, we got the cash. What's the problem? He's like, I'm not serving you. And we were like, that's the first and only time that's happened to me. My cousin and I were like, we were really baffled. How I was like, what is going on here? And he's like, I don't have to serve you. It's my store. Get out. And we were like, but we want to get the beers. Like, you're selling beer. We're buying them. Everything's legal. We want a beer. What's going on? And he's like, if you don't get out, I'll call the cops. And we're like, call them. Go ahead. We've got no problem with that. In fact, the cop shop is like 4 doors down on Boyle Street. No longer there anymore. Cops turn up straight away. Like, it was almost like they were on hold or something, because they turned up right away. And the cops walked in and said, what's going on here? And my cousin and I were like, we don't really know. We just came in to buy beer. And, he asked us for ID because we were young. And we showed him. There's my driver's license. Have a look, officer. There's my cousin's proof of age card because he never drove. There you go. Everything's all legit. And the cop's like, yep, that's legit. Yep, that's legit. He looked at the owner, the old guy. He's like, what's up? And he said, I don't want to serve them. And the cop looked at me and my cousin and went, well, unfortunately, boys, this is his store and he has the legal right to refuse service. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And then the old guy's like, that's what I was saying. I told them to leave. And we were like, yeah, but we don't understand why. Like, isn't there got to be a reason? Like, did we do something wrong? Do we offend you by our appearance because we're young? Like I said, we weren't drunk. We were going to get the beer to then go and have a jam. And the long story short is there's another liquor store across the tracks, across the way. We just went over there and got beer. But it was such a strange thing to have happen, because I can understand if you'd been next door in the pub getting twisted and causing a problem, and then someone said, those dudes are coming in to get takeaway, don't serve them because they're drunk. We hadn't had any beer at that point. We were going to get the beer. Yeah, so that was weird. So what I'm saying is, I guess what I'm illustrating is that the store owner has the right to refuse service. And in this instance, this store owner says, you proved that you don't have to wear a mask, or I'm not serving you. And she's in the right. She's 100% legally in the right. Even more so because of COVID, because COVID should be like, well, I don't want to potentially receive COVID from you not wearing a mask. I'm not saying that the gentleman had COVID, but that's what she would be thinking, right? Either way, she can refuse service and it's legal. Don't like it? Go to another store like we had to. Go across the tracks and go to the Royal and get your takeout. Dumbfounded, right, Greg? We were dumbfounded, dude. Timsky, in Victoria, under the work cover legislation, it is up to a business owner or occupier to ensure the safety of all those who may be on the premises. Also, by the law alone, you could refuse access. Bingo, bango. Based upon you having a very real and reasonable fear of COVID being spread. But, I mean, take COVID out of the equation and the store owner can refuse service. Flat out. That's a fact.
I don't even know where to start. Customer service, that's out the window. I don't think you're meant to swear at your customer. Your customer's always right, especially when they say they have an exemption and you're not lawfully allowed to ask for it. But put that aside for a second. Did you notice her mask was on her chin? So why is she enforcing a mask when she's not wearing one herself? But this kind of
That's a fair point. If she's not going to wear a mask, what is her reason refusal of service? This guy would be as dumbfounded as me and my cousin back in the day.
Behavior in the community is the outcome of the fear porn the government and the media is pushing on society. It is dividing the people. It is dividing our country. And it's got to stop. No fine in this one, but if you do get a fine, please submit your stories to fightthefines.com.
Okay, well, we've already seen the promo for that. There's my take on that. That's my take. That's my ultimate opinion here. The gentleman and the woman from Shell Harbour just put a mask on and everything could be fine. If you have a legally binding reason to not wear a mask, prove it and everything could be fine. The idea that they're being made a subject or a martyr and being pumped up in the media for whatever, I don't really buy that. It seems like, yeah, it seems like this is more about political activism more than anything, because of their tweets on there or their Instagram, you know, no mask, we won't ask, all that crap. If they had have just gone, all right, we've got a family to feed, we've got a business to run, maybe we thought we had an exemption, we don't, we'll mask up, everything will be cool. Easy, right? Easy fix. Instead now, donate, try to help these people. I'll send them a mask. That's what I'd do. And that's what I encourage anybody else to do. But folks, that's where we're going to wrap it up here on this stream. Political foolishness. Masks are no big deal. Wear them or don't wear them and stop bothering people. Yeah, essentially that's what it boils down to, right? Just wear the mask or just continue on your existence the way you are. I mean, I feel like this will all be a bit of a giggle in the future. I think we'll all laugh at this when we look back on it. Be like, what? Really? All that over a mask? Slap it on, dude. Crazy. Anyway, folks, we'll wrap this up here. Like I said earlier, though, if you do have a suggestion of what you want to discuss here on these very streams for the month of July, I'm live every day on YouTube, as well as my DLive. But for the sake of these streams, if you've got anything you want to add to the discussion, I got a Discord. Links are always in the description of this video or this live stream. You can go and check the Discord out. Go and put your suggestions in there. Either way, folks, I will be seeing you again tomorrow at some point. See you yahoos later. Now, where's that freaking mask? Oh, yeah, here it is. Really?